this time Oliver Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, over to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ventura.
Hi.
My question to you is, as a former Navy SEAL, do you agree or disagree with the recent release book by the 6-member SEAL team and the objections of the Pentagon?
I don't have a problem with it. The op was over a year ago, and I feel I have a right to know what went on because our entire military is paid by my tax dollars, and I believe I have every right to know what they spend my tax dollars on, and I also would like to hear from boots on the ground. I don't want to hear from the media what happened in the op. I don't want to hear from bureaucrats in Washington what happened on the op. I would like to hear from boots on the ground, somebody that was actually there, so that I can make a determination.
But how does it help, Jesse? I mean, my brother's a British Army colonel and has done tours of Afghanistan, Iraq, and so on.
Sure.
How does it help operationally if all the guys around are all wondering who's going to put this in a book? I mean, surely they all sign up, don't they, to not write about their experience?
Well, he's out now. He's a civilian now, and I just, to me, he has the First Amendment rights, or he should have them. If he's not giving away anything that's listed under national security or that could affect anyone in the future operations, I say why not? Like I said, I'd like to hear from boots on the ground what actually happened there, not some fragmented story that comes out of Washington telling me what happened. So I don't know. And besides, you, the media, and the SEALs themselves have allowed themselves to become like the Green Berets in the 60s and 70s now. I don't like the fact that you even know we exist, because back in the 60s and 70s, nobody even knew who we were. Well, that's out of the bag now. Hollywood's made plenty of films. You've had my friend Dick Marcinko, who created SEAL Team 6. He's written a half a dozen books. So if the creator of SEAL Team 6 can write books about what they do, what the heck? If he doesn't put in jeopardy anyone, why is our government so up in arms about that he does this?
What we're all agreed on is that the death of Osama bin Laden was a good thing. But be honest, is America any safer now than it was when he was killed? Or from all we're seeing now in the Middle East, all the uprisings, all the kind of reverse Arab Spring, if you like, are you concerned that it may be a hornet's nest that's getting out of control?
No, because I think that lots of times these uprisings are orchestrated. I believe in the works of Colonel L. Fletcher Prouty when he said, nothing just happens, everything is planned. I truly believe that. And so these uprisings that are happening right now, we don't know really who's behind them. They could be our own CIA helping to do it.
Well,
who knows?
Did we know who we were backing? I mean, that's one of the key questions.
Backing at what?
Well, in Libya, in Egypt,
I have no idea.
All of these countries. When you oppose a Mubarak or a Gaddafi or so on, did we really know who these rebels were? And are we now perhaps seeing the results of not knowing too well who they are?
We're here wanting to give democracy to people who have lived, in my opinion, in the Stone Age. I think the bigger question to ask is, here we go, another religious war. Because most every war that happens on this planet is due to the fact of religion. One religion doesn't like the way another religion worships God, so we're going to kill you. I love religion, and I say that sarcastically. And I say that because I openly admitted I'm an atheist.
I thought you said earlier that all wars were about, oil and corporations.
They are, but they're all religious-based too.
So they're all about religion and oil and corporations.
Could be,
and
sure.
occasionally getting rid of the Nazis.
Yeah.
So my point is,
the Nazis. The Nazis was religious too. Look what they did to the Jews. So that brought religion in. Vietnam was religious because Diem, our puppet president, and our country brought 100 Christian Vietnamese down to the south to be the government. Well, the southern Vietnamese didn't like these religious characters from up north, so they then became the Viet Cong. So all wars, pretty much in my lifetime, have had some religious basis, but certainly Big business gets in there because wars are very profitable to certain big businesses. And of course, big business needs to be in the Middle East so that we can get the oil out of the Middle East, so we can get the lithium out of Afghanistan. You know, they discovered a vein of lithium there. They say is worth $1 trillion. Well, what is lithium used for? Every cell phone, computer, and soon-to-be electric cars. Let's talk about why we're really there. We're not there. How does any of these wars affect our freedom in any way? The United States is not in any threat. They're not going to do a Normandy invasion on us, Al-Qaeda in Virginia.
No, but hang on, you're being slightly naive, aren't you? Because
I'm not being naive, sir.
I think you are being naive.
No.
I think that it's clear one of the main reasons that America went into Afghanistan was to try and get Al-Qaeda dismantled, the organization which committed the 9/11 atrocities.
Really?
But you don't think so?
Well, how come Al-Qaeda put the heroin business out? They took all the poppy growers and stopped the production of heroin.
What would you have done?
Wait, now how much of that illegal heroin was propping up the international banks with laundered money, and when it dried up, the first recession happened? Well, now that we're back in there, we aligned with the poppy growers, and the heroin business is back up full swing again. Well, I thought we fight a war on drugs here.
All right, Jesse,
we're not.
What would you have done on September the 12th, 2001? What would you have done if you'd been president?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
I would have done a legitimate investigation to find out what exactly happened on 9/11. How did they know who did this so quickly like they did Lee Harvey Oswald? How quick they knew Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy.
Because the people who did it were identified and we knew who they were.
Well, then why couldn't we have stopped them beforehand if they were identified and we knew who
It
they
was a
were?
failure of intelligence. Everyone's accepted
No, it
that.
wasn't. We knew before with Condoleezza Rice's memo on August 6th when it stated right in the memo, Bin Laden to steal planes and run them into buildings. And more stuff is coming out now also, how much the Bush administration ignored the intelligence. It was almost like they ignored it because they wanted it to happen.
Oh, come on, Jesse.
No, come on. Wait a minute. Every war starts with a false flag operation.
You can't, in all seriousness, sit there and try and make out anybody in the
Okay,
Bush
let me ask you this,
wanted
Piers.
it
Wait
to
a minute.
happen.
Let me ask you something. How much studying have you actually done of 9/11 other than what the government's told you and what mainstream media has told you? I've been studying it 4 years.
I was editor of a national newspaper.
I've taught
we
you.
counted it
Wait a
in
minute.
depth every day for
Really?
5-6 months.
Really?
So I know a lot about it.
Well,
One thing I do know is
let me ask you this
you
then.
cannot say that any member of the Bush administration knew it was going to happen or wanted it to happen. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about your BBC. I have a tape of a BBC reporter broadcasting directly back to England talking about a third building has collapsed. World Trade Center Building 7 talks for 7 minutes. All the while she's talking, World Trade Center Building 7 is still standing right behind her. It didn't fall for another half hour. Yet they were doing a pre-broadcast back to England that yes, it's true,
you need to
that this building fell and it hadn't fallen yet.
You're trying to make out that British Broadcasting Company, one of the most respected news organisations in the world, was inventing huge buildings falling over. You need to have a break, Jesse. We'll come back after the break and we'll talk about Israel and Iran.
Are you kidding me? This is a fact, my friend.